Welcome to the WorkHARDAholics Show with your host, the original WorkHARDaholic, Shirley Crawford, author, speaker, and small business consultant for over 20 years, helping you to work hard, play harder, and business better. Okay, that whole theme song, it never gets old for me. Maybe because it's not all that old. But welcome to another episode of WorkHARDaholics. I am Shirley Crawford, the original workaholic. Okay, this is what happens when you're having a little too much fun. And so although there was some bibbing going around here, it was not me. I wasn't drinking, and Still happy to be here. Still so very joyous. And once again, take two. Welcome to WorkHARDaholics. All right. We're glad to have you all here with us today. And I'm just really excited. I'm really excited in general because it's 2022. It even has like a wonderful ring to it. There's a lot that's going on. And all of it hasn't felt positive. All of it hasn't been positive. But there's just a lot happening that could have a massive impact on your health, your wealth, your well-being, your business, and we're just glad to be a part of it. So, welcome. And if you're asking, who am I? I'm not going to break out into that song, although I do love that song. I am Shirley Crawford, the original WorkHARDaholic, and your host. Small business consultant for over 25 years, the executive director of the Women's Business Center, RVA, coming to you live from the Imagine Media Lab. Oh, well, our version of live. I am trying to tell you, I have to calm myself down. I'm just a little too excitable today. So let's get this party started. So what happens here when you come to the WorkHARDaholics Show, we help you business better, right? We help you have the tools, the resources, the skills to be a better entrepreneur, a better leader, a better community activist, a better whatever it is you're trying to do, even a better employee. But we also like to help you live all of that in balance, right? So I know for me, what's today? I have asked this question 3 times today, and I haven't been the almost asked. I'm like, what day is this? I don't mean the day. We're like really trying to figure out which day of the week is it. And so we kept going on and on. I asked it 3 times. I had someone else ask me a couple times. And the reason for that is, as a workaholic, like you all think Friday, woohoo, Friday. For me, I feel that way about Mondays, right? I don't work on Fridays. But also, like, you can come to the center on a Saturday and it'll be full. There'll be seminars and sessions and meetings. Sometimes my Sundays I come in here and it's a bunch of people. And other times, it's pitch silent. That's the life of a workaholic. Our life is not led by a clock. Our life is led by goals, things we have to accomplish, where we want to be. And we're doing things that others won't today so that we can live a life that others can't tomorrow. Is that you? Welcome aboard. So, before we even get any further, so I've told you about me. I've told you what a workaholic is. I want to, again, I'm saying thank you. And I'm also saying, need more help, please. So, when I started talking about our YouTube channel, so the show has been on 2 years. I'm asking Christina with a C. I think it's been 2 years. I don't think it's been 3. But maybe it has been. I should go back and check. We've been on for a while. We have a good following. We have a decent following on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Hello, TikTokers. But our YouTube is really, I mean, like, tiny. And in part, we didn't focus on it before. So when I started saying to you all, please go like, share, subscribe, repeat, especially to our YouTube channel. I think at that time we had 8, and then it was at 16 for a while. And so it's only been a few weeks, but still right now we're at 42, or we were at the beginning of the taping of the show. So please go like, share, subscribe, repeat our YouTube channel. Because here's the deal. To come sit in my office and talk to me, it's $250 an hour. The show is gratis, totally free. So share that wealth of wisdom, knowledge, and we have fun, guests, and all kinds of things and information you can use. So please, thank you for those who have subscribed. We appreciate your support, and then share it with some friends. And you friends who are watching, you people who watch, we see you're on our stats, but you don't subscribe. What's going on? Please go subscribe. All right, so that was my YouTube advertisement. Now, our most recent segment that we've added to the show is Business Better. So we always say, live better, do better. Well, happy entrepreneur. But the whole bottom line is we want you to business better, right? So with that in mind, we want to share with you resources, tools, information, people, things that will help you, do your business better. And so for this week, we want to share about a program. Because of what I do, I consider it my obligation to know who the movers and shakers are, to know what the resources are, to be aware of what's happening in the community so that I, in turn, can bring that to my clients and I can bring that to you. So I have I've had the pleasure of meeting Tommy Marks, who is actually the Virginia MBDA Center Director. And a lovely gentleman altogether. Thoroughly enjoy our conversations and continuing those conversations. So the organization is having an event called Build Back Better, right? There you go. State Small Business Credit Initiative 2.0. So hopefully you can see that information on the screen. And so what's happening is that the event is January 26th, so it's coming up soon. It's from 1 to 2, and it's virtual. You're able to go online, mdba-virginia.com/news. You can register. It is free. And the whole point is the federal government and our states are all allocating money for our small business owners, and you need to know it to get it. Ignorance is not bliss. So we want you to know that there's money out there. There's contracts available. There are things that you can be utilizing, but we want to make sure you know about it. How do you know about it? You can't just sit back and go, it will come. If I build it, it will come. Lies. You have to actually be aware of what's happening. And when you don't know, I'm sharing with you right now. Go to the meeting. I just go. Okay, so once again, you can register at MBDA-Virginia, VIRGINIA.com/news. It's for the Build Back Better State Small Business Credit Initiative 2.0. And so it's talking about capital, economic resilience, new jobs, economic opportunity. Don't miss it, people. And once again, it's free. You have no excuses. Just need to get the time and get that done. And so they're going to have some moderators. It'll be great. Make sure you attend. Okay. Also on that note, we've shared some other resources, but I want to repeat so that you all can be aware and get what you need. All right. So one we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, for those of you who got, in particular, idle money during the pandemic, we're not clear yet about whether or not it's going to affect PPP, but you will see. And the best thing for you to know is if you got money during COVID, those pandemic dollars, there's a high probability that you're going to have an audit done. And if you're not a nonprofit, that could sound scary. If you're a nonprofit, you should be used to it. But the best thing for you to do is reach out, not to me in this case, because I am not a CPA, not my gig, but reach out to your CPA. And find out for your business, are you going to need to have an audit done? So we want better safe than sorry. We want you to know now and not have it come up and it be when the IRS is knocking at your door that you're like, oh, I didn't know. They're going to say, you watch WorkHARDAholics. You did too. No. If only that were the gauge. Okay. Also, we mentioned before that there's a program called Buy Black. It's done in conjunction with the U.S. Black Chamber and American Express. And so you certify your African American owned business, and then you have access to capital, information, seminars, sessions, networking. You can become a part of the directory if someone's looking for a consultant in Richmond, Virginia, or that has a national reach. Then they can say, oh, here's the list. Go check out Shirley Crawford. All right. So that's something else we're sharing with you. Please, people, take advantage of the things that are happening right now. I reflect on the fact that there are a lot of programs that have come to light because of racial disparity, gender inequality, and it's because there's a highlight on it right now. And that's wonderful. It's not wonderful that there have been problems, but it's wonderful that there has been a national response. Various companies and organizations have stepped up to be of assistance in the community. But I don't want to say I'm jaded. I think I'm realistic. I'm realistic to know that this is temporary. So, like the organizations that I'm working with, the groups that I'm working with to utilize funds from, JP Morgan's and the Capital Ones, and in this case, American Express and Facebook and whomever else, whoever is sowing into your community, maximize it so that it has long-term legs, not just short term. It's like when people say that old saying about if you give a man a fish, he can eat for a day. If you teach a man a fish, he can eat for a lifetime. It's that kind of concept. And so, because I assure you, I am willing to like bank all that I have on the idea of knowing those dollars won't always be there. So don't wait, don't hesitate, jump on board. Another program, oh, another program, another program that you all, I've mentioned before, but I want to mention once more, is the Facebook Elevate Scholarship Program. A lot of times we complain and say, oh, well, there are no opportunities, there's no information, I don't know how. I've said before, I am the YouTube queen. Thank you, YouTube, for all that you do. I am the YouTube queen for looking up, like, that's how I learned how to use OBS. That's how I've learned other softwares. That's how I have gained information about all kinds of things from YouTube. And so can you. But also, there are all kinds of programs and certifications. Like Microsoft has a whole certification program. Google has an entire certification program. And a lot of the classes are free. And you can learn how to do Google Ads and sell and utilize that. And then, in this case, it's the Facebook Elevate Scholarship Program, which is found at facebook.com/FB Elevate. And so you can register, and then from that you can gain information. You can get the certification. They will connect you to employers if you so desire that route. If you're like me, I want the information. I don't need a job, though. I'm happy being an entrepreneur. Yay! All right. So once again, those are the tips from the Business Better segment from the show. So that is the event coming up January 26th, 1 to 2. Be sure to go register. A reminder to check with your CPA about whether or not you have to be audited if you got idle money or potentially PPP money. I'm not clear about that yet. Also, shared with you the Facebook and the U.S. Black Chambers Buy Black program and the Facebook Elevate Scholarship. So somewhere in there, you could do something very simple and potentially do something simple that could have a very large impact on you, your business, your life. All right. And speaking of impact, it's time for our word for the week. All right. So our word for this week, I think in my mind, I'm not even going to tell you what it reminds me of. It sounds kind of gross, but it's really interesting. Fecundity. I can say it. Fecundity. I think I like 18th century words. I think I really like words that are just like, no one's using them. I think I just like the whole 4-syllable or more. I always say 3 syllables or more. Woohoo! Exciting. Fecundity. And it doesn't mean anything that it sounds like to me, right? But it's about the state of being fecund. You would think fecund, but I would think in the small short it'd be fecund. If you find out, let me know. All right. And so really it's about animals being fertile, but it's about fruitfulness, fertility, and really the reason that it came up for me is that it's a synonym for productivity. And as we are really amping up to attack 2022, I'm hoping that's where we all are. I'm hoping we're all at this point of an expectation of productivity, and beyond the expectation, doing the work to make it happen. That's the real bottom line. That's the difference between a dreamer and a doer. Because we can all have a vision, a beautiful aspiration. But if you're not applying the work, it's not a productive dream. It's not a productive anything. It's just a waste of time. I'm just saying. So I hope that we're all aspiring to have a year of fecundity. That just sounds so utterly bizarre to me, but it's the truth, right? So when we talk about abundant productivity, that's it. Abundant production. That's what they say in the definition. That's what I wish for all of you. I wish for you a 2022 of abundant production, or a 2022 of fecundity. Enjoy. So at this time, it's normal where we break out. We have a new section that we're sharing, since we are so happy to work with none other than Socialita Christina. We've asked that in 2022, we're going to help you all be better on all aspects of your business, or the ones that really are seen front and center, which includes your social media. So she's going to share with you a social media minute from Socialita.
Hey everyone, it is Christina, and today I want to talk to you all about how to build your brand or how to build your business on a budget. And I only have a few minutes because I have a meeting at 10 o'clock, so I'm going to make this really, really short and sweet. Okay, so we all know how hard it is to build your business, to build your brand when you are just starting out. A lot of us don't really have like mentors, or we don't have anyone that we can really go to say, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do, or can you help me with this? So either we fail, right? Or we spend the entire first year or two trying to keep up with the Joneses, or trying to, pay everyone to do everything, when in all actuality, you do not have to do that. So yesterday I talked about networking and partnerships and things like that. So I'm going to dive into that part first, and then we will continue on. So first, what you need to do is to meet new people, okay? Meet people that can actually help you. One mistake that I see a lot of people making, they're like, oh, my cousin does designs, or my cousin is a photographer, and blah, blah, blah. And like, I totally get that. I completely understand. But if this is not someone that you can actually count on, you should really consider networking with individuals that you do not know initially, okay? Or they're not related to you, or they're not a best friend or something like that, okay? Because it's really, really important to meet people at the table. Like it's important to say, okay, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. You are such and such. This is my business. This is your business. And you all are meeting on a professional level, okay? And continue from there, okay? So again, meet people that can actually help you. Think about what it is that you need, okay, right now, all right? Connecting with people of value, okay? This kind of goes hand in hand with what I said. For example, when I first started my lifestyle blog, I have a really small networking circle. And I was like, listen, I need somebody to do my photos because I am so tired of doing it myself. And I need someone to help me vlog. And if you help me, I will send you warm leads, okay? And that is how I get some of my things done. That's how I've gotten some things done in the past, okay? So make sure whoever you're connecting with, they can really do some things for you and you can do things for them, okay? That the value is equal, okay? Because again, you don't want to be putting in way more work than someone is actually doing for you because you all are building each other's business. All right, write down exactly what you need. So right now, okay, like literally right now, get a pen, get a piece of paper, or get your iPad or whatever. What you need to do is write down the services that you need and limit yourself to 5, okay? So, for example, services I have needed is I needed someone to help me vlog. I needed a photographer. I needed an admin. I needed brand ambassadors or something like that, or graphic design or something similar, okay? Think about what you need, okay? That way, again, when you are networking or when you are looking for individuals to actually be added into your circle, that you are doing this with a purpose, okay? Do not start talking to people or networking with people and be like, oh, you know what? I didn't even think about me needing a new logo. Hey, you want to do my logo? No. You are building your brand with a purpose. So remember that. I don't know why my fire alarm has been going off. Sorry about that. It's okay if someone says no, okay? It's okay. If you don't have the budget for it, just look somewhere else. You can circle back to that individual later on in life, okay? So it is okay if they're like, no, I don't want to barter, because a lot of people are no longer in that stage, right? So when I first started, I was like, listen, I will barter for this, I will do that. At this moment, I am no longer at the bartering stage unless it is of real tangible value to me, okay? So, just remember that. It's okay, all right? And then think of other options because you don't always have to just do everything for free. You can say, okay, can I have a discount if I do this for you, okay? But bartering, again, is powerful. It is something that can really, really help your business and make your business grow, especially when you are just getting started, okay? Last but not least, because I gotta go, I have a meeting. Keep your circle close and small, okay? Listen, keep it at like 5 individuals. Like I said, write down 5 things that you know that you need and have someone for each service that you need, okay? Why? Because it's not as much confusion, all right? Also, you can send referrals, okay? And one thing I love about my circle is I can say, hey, I have a photographer that can do that. So if I send this person to the other individual in my circle, they can barter, right? Or I can get an incentive off of the referral, okay? So either way, you're gonna make money, or you are keeping your end of the deal, which is bartering and sending clients, okay? So thank you all for watching. I hope that this has helped you. Let me know in the comment section whether it has helped. If you have any other comments or tips or tricks or hacks, feel free to drop them below. And again, thank you all. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio. Thank you guys for tuning in and have an amazing weekend. Bye.
Well, once again, we say thank you to Socialita Christina for that social media moment. Alrighty then. At this point, we want to take a moment to say thank you to our sponsors, as well as recognize some of you small business owners out there doing your thing, because if we respect nothing else, we definitely respect entrepreneurship. On that note, something in particular I'm really excited about this is that Crystal Dandridge is opening next month the Book Bar. Has anyone ever been? Apparently there are book bars in other states. I'd never heard of it. And so I don't drink, but it's just a cool vibe. I got a chance to go in the other day and look around, and it's opening in February, which is Black History Month, and the book bar of RVA at least celebrates Black Indigenous people of color. I have to always go like, what's the I for Indigenous? Black Indigenous people of color. And so that means if you've been looking for a particular African American artist, writer, or if you're just looking to find a place, she has some really cool like supplies. Everything within the book bar is created by, produced by, and in turn, of course, celebrated by all of us, but by a BIPOC. Do people say BIPOC? BIPOC, Black Individuals, Person of Color. BIPOC. I think we're just safer saying it that way. So really excited and intending to have her onto the show, maybe a little closer to their launch, but it's only a few weeks away. So very excited about that. So shout out to Crystal Dandridge and the Book Bar. And you don't have to wait for the doors to open to make purchases. She has subscription boxes. One of them is really, 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 really cool. I mean, I'm sure they're all cool, but there was one in particular that was so up my alley. I can't tell you all about it because I'm going to give all of my friends one. So just in case they're watching, I don't want them to know what's in the box. But it's really exciting. So looking forward to that. The book bar. Another shout out around here at the center, at the Women's Business Center, RVA. We are surrounded by some amazing business owners. And I want to give a shout out to all of our January birthdays around here at the center. So today we were celebrating Taiwan Lee, the owner of Legacy Managed by Tai. And then, of course, Tony Hamlin, who is the owner of Abraham Youth and Family Services. And, of course, none other than our very own producer, Christina Clark, the proprietor of the Imagine Media Lab. So I don't know if we're going to be saying happy birthday to everyone every month, but right now we're starting the year off and we want to celebrate. So happy birthday, ladies, from the show of WorkHARDaholics. WorkHARDaholics. Okay. So we often talk about our time tool technique. Every week we talk about a time tool technique. And we do this because as a workahardaholic, we do a lot, but we want to be efficient in all that we do so that we can have more time for that, play harder part of the program. All right. So I came across this really cool productivity hack, all right, as our time tool technique. And so there's an article on Contexto, CONTXTO.com. The link for it is at the bottom of the screen. And so they go through these pieces of like how to be productive. And I love some of the tools that they offer. I think I love the ones that most apply to the way that I generally feel it, that are already a part of my philosophy, right? So, and some of them I'm like, let me think about that one. And that's pretty much how it is. Like when we're sharing information, someone is educating us. It's great to know that they're the subject matter expert. But if you're really going to internalize it and make it happen, you have to take a moment and figure out, does this apply for me? Does this work for me? I don't know. Let's think about it. So, because the number one productivity hack they shared was start with the most difficult task. And I won't lie. For me, this is a hard one to like work with because I have always been trained to make your list. Like for me, I believe in your top 5, maybe top 10, but really I'm doing good if I can get through 3 solid things in a day. So if I have my top 5 things of top 5 list of things that need to be done today, and my aspiration and hope is to get half of it done, I like to knock out the quick things. So if I know I need to email so-and-so to set up an appointment or make a phone call or file some things away, I like to knock out the easy things because one, it gives me a sense of accomplishment. It makes me feel like I did something. Because there's a lot of mental involved. So I can at least say I got something done. And it was quick, so I could knock it out. And so it was important enough to be on my list for the day. So it's important enough for me to knock out. And so, but on the other side, with this productivity hack, what they're saying is if you start with, the big chunky meaty section, then you can also get that sense of accomplishment. And then when it's done, the weight is lifted, as opposed to you're working on the smaller things and you're just dreading the fact that this thing is coming. So I don't know. I might have to give it a try. Right? That's all you can do with any of these, right? And so the one that's my favorite on the list was number 3, and it's keep one day completely free of meetings. So generally speaking, for me, Thursdays have historically been, Thursdays are my day. Thursdays have been my day where I don't have meetings. Fridays, I don't work. I'm off. Yeah, I'm not here. You won't find me in the office. Fridays, that is the beginning of my weekend. But Thursdays, I generally don't have meetings. And when I do, I feel some kind of way. I actually resent people who have meetings with me on Thursdays. I have one right now and I adore her, but I'm about to move her to a different day. So I agree with that one, because you have so many days where you have meetings. When do you have a good block of time to sit down and get stuff done? And that's the whole point of a productivity hack. Ways to help you be not just busy, but productive, right? To get some fecundity in your life. Are you waiting for the word to come back? There you go. There it is. So feel free to take the link, go over to Contexto, and to see more about the hacks. These are hacks for startup founders, but they really apply to anyone and everyone. So feel free to go check those out. So once again, our time tool technique were a list of 10 productivity hacks from Contexto, contxto.com. Feel free to go check it out. And now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce our Book It moment. And this week, it's Getting Things Done by David Allen. All right? So I don't know about the rest of you all, but my life is full. And I just had another meeting today, and I'm really excited about it. But it means that I have a meeting next Tuesday night. That's what that means. It means that I'm taking on a whole new project. And it's a passion project, so it's not even like I'm expecting to get paid from it. It's just something else that's going to take up time. But passion's what guides my life. I don't know about you all. And so with that in mind, how much time is there to get things done? There's a lot. Like I have an exercise I do with my Goal Matters classes all about how the fact that you have a lot of time. You're squandering it. You're wasting it. Now, I'm not like those who say sleep is for the dead. I'm not there. But there are other times that you are totally wasting, and in the name of what? I don't know, that you could be using. I'm just saying, right? So I'm going to highlight a couple of things, and then we have some very exciting things that are happening. So one of the things they talk about in the book, and of course, once again, the books that we share are generally books from my library or that I've added to my library. But if you have a book that you think would be an amazing addition to the WorkHARDaholics library, let us know. All right. So they talk about brainstorming keys. And I love that because generally speaking, when I have a new client, I love to do a good brainstorming session because it's really easy to get caught up in your own head. Like we block ourselves more than anyone else does. And so they say when you're brainstorming, don't judge, challenge, evaluate, or criticize. I am historically known as an overthinker, which I don't think that's really a thing. But I accept the fact that I've been called that a lot. So the idea of thinking that you're just going to toss things out, we talk about the popcorn method, where you just pop, just let the ideas pop. Find a whiteboard, write it all out, just keep going, just keep writing, and then you evaluate and judge later. But you don't discount anything. All ideas are valid until they're not. So that's that piece. Go for quantity, not quality. So a lot of times we pre-filter ourselves. We do that a lot in life in general. We're always like, well, no, that's not good enough. This is not. No. Shh. flush your brain. Just do it. All right. Put analysis and organization in the background. So that's just one section of tips that they're giving. Another one, which is also shown on the screen, is it's basically this chart to help you. It's flow chart, right? And so it's a workflow diagram, and it's supposed to help you figure out what you should be working on. And the whole point of the exercise is that you have buckets, right? I think it's very similar to Stephen Covey has this whole system of organization and structure. Does anyone remember Steve Covey? I consider Steve Covey to be like the Godfather. We were watching something about James Brown, so I have Godfather. Oh, we talked about Snoop Dogg earlier, the Dogfather. But in this case, the Godfather of organization, I give credit to Steve Covey. You give it to whoever you like to. That's who I give it to. And so to me, this sounds a lot Covey-esque. But you figure out what's the project, what's the plan, what's the next action, yes, no, do it, delegate it, defer it. Should it go on your calendar? Are you waiting for someone else, which is something I hate, but it happens a lot. You have the stuff. It's in your in basket. What is it? Is it actionable? Yes. And you go through this process. Is it not? If you can't do anything about it right now, then throw it in the trash, put it in your someday pile, or put it as a reference that you retrieve later. So that's what that part was about, which I thought I was like, another interesting system. And then the last thing I want to share from our Book It moment of Getting Things Done by David Allen. I'm trying to rush through a little bit if you can't tell, because we have someone exciting. This way comes. Okay. This is talking about something that I find very interesting. I love a good to-do list. All right. I am the consummate fan of a good to-do list. Right. So actually, like our guest who's coming to join us shortly, actually just came up with her own journal planner, and we've been talking about to-do lists. I love a good to-do list. There are some people who think, like, in the concept of vision boards, they think that if you write it down, post it, and put it away, if you build it, it will come. Didn't I say earlier that was a lie? Manifestation or not. The way that it works is if you're making a to-do list, and you're writing things down, and then like you put it in a journal and you put it away and you never bring it back out again, then that was just an exercise in futility. Fecundity is not a guarantee when you are not actively pursuing that which you wrote down. It's also part of the reason why when I talk about a business plan as a living, breathing document, if you've ever been in a class with me about business plans or anything, or an entrepreneur academy or anything else, I always say your business plan should be revisited. How often? Hello, students out there. How often? I'm sure you're saying it. Every 3 months. Every quarter, you should sit down with your business plan and review, because that's how it helps you to figure out, am I on the right path? Am I still doing what I said I would do? Am I still the entrepreneur I said I wanted to be? Like, am I on track? All right. So once again, I hope you enjoyed our Book It moment for today. The book is Getting Things Done by David Allen. And now it is my pleasure to present to you all, to introduce to some and to present to others, someone who I find very vital and necessary to my very existence, especially to this show. It is none other than, she's over here pushing buttons, mind you, because that's who she is. She's the button pusher for the WorkHARDaholics. She is our producer, Christina Clark.
And the crowd goes wild.
I was going to say that. And the crowd goes wild.
We'll have to add that in later.
Yay!
So this is different.
It is. You're on this side of the camera.
I know.
So normally,
no.
yeah, the producer is normally is not even seen and not heard.
Something
It's
like
neither.
that.
It's actually the producer is not to be seen, neither to be heard, because if you do see or hear, that means
Something
there's a
that-
problem.
There's always a problem.
So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to have you on this side. I had to convince her. Isn't that crazy? I had to convince Christina
That's usually the case. Just
to
like the last
be my
interview I
guest.
did. They were like, you gotta do it. I was like,
It was a good interview, though.
I appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah,
I
see,
couldn't say no to the wonderful, fabulous Denise Marcia, but yeah.
she's lovely.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it is different,
Yes. Okay. So
especially if you produce the show.
once again, she's on this side now. Help. We're gonna help her figure out how to be a guest.
Mm-hmm.
Be our guest. I can't go into the whole tune right now. We
We
don't have long because Christina. Man, she was trying to get in on the tail end. I'm like, no, we need more time.
I was trying to get an idea, but yeah.
So tell the people about you. Who is Christina Clark?
Yeah, most people know me as C.O. Clark. I am an author, entrepreneur, producing the show, the list goes on. But yeah, mostly my sole function is entrepreneurship. And, writer by night, entrepreneuring by day. Sometimes it's flipped, depending on the day of the week.
It sounds like a superhero role.
It's not.
Writer by night, entrepreneur by day.
I'm a true workaholic. I'm always coming up with something, being innovative. And
Okay.
my recent most endeavor is the Media Lab, which you utilize.
It's not your most recent endeavor.
Is it?
It's not. It is a very significant endeavor. We love the Imagine Media Lab. For those who don't know, we produce this podcast. Excuse me. Christina produces this podcast
I just hit
in
buttons.
the Imagine Media Lab.
I assure you, I just hit buttons, y'all.
For those of you who've seen the show when Christina was out of town and I had to run it, you know that it's more than pushing buttons. And I am
I
brilliant.
was in the comments, y'all. I really was. I was there in spirit.
In spirit, but not in town. There you have it. No, your most recent endeavor are your planners, aren't they?
Yeah, that is something that I have been working very intensely on, and that is to really streamline productivity. Really.
Fecundity, people. Fecundity.
So that fits very well in what she was just speaking of, from the book to the word of the week. And for what I mean when I talk about productivity, it's looking at the day versus most times people are looking at the week, the month, and sometimes the year. And they open up their planner and they're planning out. And even though, yes, you can do that, but some people, they're wired differently and mentally. And so for some of my people who are neurodivergent, in other words, ADHD, they need to look at the day. They want to know what's happening the day. You're asking them too much when you go, what's happening tomorrow, what's happening a week from now, when they really want to plan productively and how to be productive, how to break. When you talked about the other, which was your time tool technique, about, you might not have mentioned, but it talked about 25 minutes in. I read the whole thing.
Oh,
where,
yes.
And so that's the way to do
that's
that.
the Pomodoro technique, which I'm
Yeah.
also a big fan of.
So the productivity set is my first set within the productivity planners, and it is stay focused is one. So it looks a little different, but there's a lot kind of going on, but not in an overwhelming sense. And then my stay productive is very similar, but yet your today's goals as well as your every half hour planning is also side by side. And then my stay well, if you have all that's going on in front of you, how are you keeping well? And so my stay well is structured differently, even though it could serve as getting things done throughout the day, because it does have a prioritizing section. So you've got must get done. So you've got must get done, important but not urgent, and what can be done tomorrow. Now the goal is not to fill out that last column, what can be done tomorrow. And so then it
Because
becomes
tomorrow never comes.
but there is a section where you start off with gratitude, because as statistics know, if you start there, which is gratitude and being grateful, you actually shift your mind. You might not have woken up very well that morning. Who knows, whatever was happening. And so it might be best for you to pick up that day planner versus stay focused and stay productive. You might want to pick up stay well. You might need to start off like that. So that is why I have innovatively tried to design something that can not be this one size fits all planner, but actually be something that can serve you and your need for that day.
And when are those going to be available?
There actually are available as a digital product. We are working on binding them, and so they are available in basically a notebook. So you'll be able to flip. It'll be coil bound and everything, and as well as tear off sheets as well, like a pad.
Mm-hmm.
There are 8.5 by 11 pads as we're working on
I
sizes
saw those.
A5. Yes, and so the stay remote is for my remote folks. There are people who were remote before the pandemic, so
Yeah.
that is number 5. I mean, excuse me, number 4. So that's 4 sets within there that you can choose from. And you need to not see it as such a rigid way. Whatever works for you, just choose it.
But let me clarify. So for the ones that are available digitally now,
Mm-hmm.
are they
All right.
available on Amazon, on
I,
your website,
yeah, so they're actually available on Etsy right
Etsy?
now. Mm-hmm. Yep. So right now they're available on Etsy.
Christina has, in the midst of everything else she has an Etsy shop.
Yep.
And so she has all kinds of digital downloads, like logos, things that you might need.
Yeah.
And so here is the reason in particular for me why
You just have to look up Proficient Planner. And so, yeah, you'll find it.
the reason for me why I really wanted to chat with Christina is because I find her to be very impressive.
Oh,
And so here's the
it's going
deal.
to make me cry.
But it's true. It's so true.
I really
Um
appreciate it.
and so like I'm a geek, Christina's a super geek. But really, and so a lot of times when I'm thinking about a software, a tool, or something, I don't have a lot of people I can go to
Mm.
and say, here's my dilemma. Speaking of which, I'm having an OBS and audio problem I need to talk to you about.
But I'm looking forward to it.
See,
I enjoy those
but
conversations.
I can't just be like, hey, I'm doing this
And I know the
remote
feeling. So
and
if
this
I
is
could be the
happening.
answer to somebody else, even if they weren't the answer to myself, you know,
And so I so appreciate that. And so but she's not so much like one, she's not like you're stupid, you should know better. So that's great. And two, if she doesn't know, she doesn't mind saying I don't know that. And then she'll go do the research and find the answers or find the resources. But in
there's no
addition
need of
to,
faking it till you make it if you
and
don't have to.
especially if you're not a good faker, people, because then we just think you're a liar and we don't trust
We
you
don't trust
as
you.
a subject matter expert.
So go get the answer
Indeed.
and tell them.
And so, like for Christina, when I met Christina initially, she was doing a book
I was
signing.
doing a book release party for my 3rd volume. Yeah, my 3rd
So that's something else to check out.
volume.
She has volumes of poetry,
Yeah,
and I believe there's some other books that'll be coming
yeah,
sooner
yeah.
rather than later. Um, right now, she's working on the planner. She's the proprietor of the Imagine Media Lab. I
Yep,
told y'all, geeks are us. We rock it out.
yep.
I'm missing some other stuff. She's not taking any more clients for another business, so I won't even mention it. I
No,
tried. I was just like,
nope.
I know people who need your services.
I get it all the time, and
She's like, nope,
I'm just not
not
taking
taking
on.
any more clients. Um, but you also like have a full, rich life. She often does like video clips about travel and things that she's done. She's obsessed with the Tesla. Elon Musk, check her out.
Yeah.
She's obsessed with Tesla and Notion.
Oh yeah, I love my Notion. So that's another productivity hack is using Notion for your business and
I
life.
don't use Notion.
We shall fix that, even if it's 50 years from now.
She is trying her best to get me to convert to Notion. It hasn't happened.
Yeah. So
Notion
my entire
people,
team uses it.
yeah,
Everyone's
you
got their own workspace.
they should have you as an influencer
Mhm.
because she is constantly trying to change me to do it.
Ivan, if you
just
need someone, just let me know.
and there you have it. So here's the question then. It's one of the things I always like to know whenever I'm talking to a workaholic. All right, how do you balance it all?
Yeah, that is such a great question because there are moments where I'm like, OMG, I have so much going on. So someone who is near and dear to my heart could be a family member, like, can you help me with this? And they get the almost, I hate to say it this way, the blunt force trauma of like, no. And they go, well, what about Saturday? And I go, you have no idea what my week looks like. And
Did I
so,
mention that when I'm in here working, this is who I see more than anyone else?
yeah. So, but in regards to how do you balance it all, it really starts off how you start off. How are you starting off your
Hmm.
day? And so, and how are you seeing your day? And a lot of that's mindset. And seeing the fact that you have a workload as this overwhelming, task driven, OMG, I can't take away. I step away. I step away and bother anybody. That's the great thing about being at the WBC is that you're not alone in office space. You know, there are other people who are near you, and I will walk over and start miniature conversation and then get back to what I'm doing. But I understand certain things that you need to do as an entrepreneur, as anyone in the workspace. It doesn't actually doesn't matter what you're doing. There are moments where you need to step away, and you might actually get an idea that to something that you had a question to that you've been struggling with for hours. But a lot of that comes from just taking a moment to just stop what you're doing, uh, decompartmentalize kind of a little bit, just a little bit, just step
Mm.
away from what you're doing. And a lot of people don't practice that. They want to plow away for hours. And I've done that. And it's okay if I get lost in something for hours as long as it's complete hours later. But I do that. I will step away and take what is considered to be a short break. But I have wired myself to remind myself to do that.
Well, kudos to that, and it's so true because
But no, I'm not perfect. I have a whole list of things going on from, clients pulling me away to what's going on in their business and how they need some things. And so, but I really do what I can.
but I love the way you pull the trigger. So
You gotta pull it.
yeah, so it's funny to me because sometimes Christina and I will have the exact same idea, and we haven't talked about it. So like she's working on her planner, and so she came to me because she was sharing her sample, and I was like, hey, I'm
And you
working on
saw
the
the
same
notes
thing,
one. Yeah, you saw
right?
how to take better notes. Yeah.
And so okay, so like let me I'll tell you how I pull the trigger, which is terrible. Um, if I say, like, most of the times I have these like crazy deadlines that are normally based on like my birthday. So I'm like, I will not enter. So you all might say you have a New Year's resolution. I'm like, I will not enter the new year. I will not enter the new year of my birth and have this undone.
Right.
So like, I think most of my major books were all produced or actually all published officially at like 11:58 p.m. on June 28th. It's
Hmm.
always like the night before, the last possible minute, but it's done. So like my planner, don't go buy it right now.
Mm,
It's in terrible condition.
mm.
I literally pulled the trigger. I was like, this is going this is going out on the date and time I said it was going out.
Oh, I've done
Oh, but
that.
it's not done.
That's how you have to
So
get a book out. You've got to set a date. People go, how did you write a book with a midst of your schedule? And I go, well, if you set a date, you hold yourself accountable because then you put it on everything. You send out an email blast, a massive email blast that this book release party is happening on this day and this
oh, I
time and
haven't
this
done
look.
that.
Oh,
I
that's
haven't
what
done.
I'll do. That's
That's
the
like
only way
the
that
other
I
level
will
of pressure.
publish and finish. Oh, the book is not even finished. But you have to set a date. It's called accountability. How else are you going to be accountable?
I
Unless
d-
you're going to find
I
somebody
do
that's
it.
going to pin you down,
I'm accountable
pin
silently.
you down, and get you to do
I
it.
am silently
But
accountable.
yeah, so I will do that in a
Oh
heartbeat. I will
wow.
set a date, at least a date that I know is realistic for production time. Everything that it takes to publish a book, get it done by my editor. The list goes on. The graphic designer's got to do the cover.
Ooh.
But as long as they've got the cover, then of course, everything else is marketable. But I'll start marketing right away. And people are like, wow, you've been marketing for three
I
months.
have heard people say that
Yeah, well,
about books and about courses.
oh yeah, I market for 3 months at
And they're
minimum.
like, yeah, they put it all out there and they take orders before the work is
Oh yeah, I do
done.
pre-orders.
I am so not
It's
comfortable with it.
accountability, and the book will be published. I will show up to the book release party at least, you know.
Yeah, that's an extra. I think I put enough. I feel for me, I feel like I put enough pressure on myself already. I don't know
And
if
of course, we do a whole
I don't know
thing
if
for
I
the
could
book
do
release parties. We
external.
get businesses involved in minimum seven
I
to
know you all have
13
sponsors and
business.
all
Oh
kinds of
yeah,
activity going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
That is interesting.
Stop seeing book releases as like something that you just kind of no. Do a whole event. If I could do the best advice I can give regarding book release, do a whole event. It's a whole event.
Well, speaking of advice, because believe it or not, our time is almost up.
Almost.
Isn't that crazy?
I know, right?
So, speaking of advice, what advice would you offer someone? Because I know that your life hasn't been like this straightforward, simple, easy process.
No, no, it took time, and I've been in it for about I think this year makes it maybe 10 years of entrepreneurship. Yeah, so it's something I've had other companies that I have built, done this scale, started something different, and so over the years I've had different companies, different endeavors. Um, but you have to get to that point because most likely you're at a point where you're so much of the employee that you don't travel, you don't do this. So when
Yeah.
whatever people think they see in my life is because I've spent the years doing the very opposite, and I'm doing it differently because I've allowed it to be so. That's so I try my best to be mindful of when people think they see whatever they think they see, they have to go back and see the years. And how long have they known me too is the other question. But yes, the years of doing the opposite. And so when I take the time now, when people are like, you've been gone how many times this year? So
It is true. I will look up and like, wait a minute. I think she said she was going
yeah.
there. I'm like, let me go look. Let me go look at her Instagram. I can find a picture and
Yeah,
find out
I'm in my
where
story.
she
You may
is.
not see much else of me on Facebook, but I'm in my stories.
So, but with that in mind, so you've finally come to this point where it's clearly not done. There's clearly a lot
Yeah,
more.
we got a show coming out produced by IML, but yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's a whole other show, but yeah, it's called Grind. But yes, there is.
Ah, yes, that's right.
Yep,
That's right.
yep.
Okay, and what can people expect from that?
So we're gonna be.
Accountability. When will that be going
I
live?
know, right, everybody? I know. So, what we're actually going to be doing is interviewing businesses, mostly small, mid-sized businesses, restaurants, list goes on. And in the purpose of interviewing them, learning their why. Why else would you do this if you didn't have a purpose and a why to it? Who else would grind at
Really?
this at this entrepreneur life? It gives them a spotlight. And so, at the end of the day, I want people to basically say, where'd you get that from? Oh, I saw it on the show Grind. And so you see that restaurant, you see that item, you see that entrepreneur. And so we go to brick and mortar businesses and we interview them. And the show is not very long, it's anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes. And so we come on spot, it's an on location shoot, full production, full fledged everything. And we're looking forward to it because small businesses are still here with us. And the only way for that to
And
be
they are the
possible
heart of our
is
community.
support. And if
Hmm.
we can be a part of the marketing of it in such a way that we're streamlining it, I think it would be awesome. Because people will go, where'd you find that bar of soap? Oh, I saw it on Grind. And so that is our goal and that is our purpose and mission for that show.
Soap brought to you by Grind at the Imagine Media Lab.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you for having me. I already said this is different.
How do people reach you?
Yeah, so you can find me basically everything. If you're looking for the Media Lab, it's Imagine Media Lab. Everything: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. The list goes
That's how
on.
you're supposed to brand people.
Yes, so everything is the same. And of course, you can go to www.imaginemedialabs with an S.com labs. So imaginemedialabs.com. If you're looking for myself, everything is COC author. Everything. So just look for COC author and I will pop up. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything.
TikTok, hooray! Okay, sorry, I don't know. That's my song after we got 1,000 subscribers on TikTok.
Yay.
Yay! All right, well, it's been a thrill, people.
Thank you
Always
for
glad to be
having
with
me.
you. Thank you, really.
I know. I
And
don't do interviews.
see how she made me push her, and for what? She's a natural.
Yeah.
All right, so once again, from WorkHARDaholics, we always say live better, do better, be better, and happy
Happy
entrepreneuring.
entrepreneuring.
Ta-ta!